your whole life watching movies, from the bad to the good to the best. Well, here comes a series from the U.S. that rivals all of the rest. From the humidity down in Alabama to the where is Wyoming, we got 50 films to show you. After that you might not feel a thing. It's the worst state of movies to make you sit down and think. And it's the worst state of movies that might even lead you to drink.
Hey everybody, Wildman Wes here, and welcome to another edition of Worst State of Movies. We're glad you decided to stick around after the last movie we reviewed. It was pretty awful. But we're going to see exactly what we've got today, so let's figure out the next state. Oh, good old California. Home of Hollywood, the Governor, and many directors that have made films that are Academy Award winning and so on and so forth. However, there was one director in particular that came around who nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew how he got his money. Nobody knew he was going to make a movie that was so bad it was good and had a cult following for the past 22 years. That's right, folks. Today we're going to be talking about 2003's The Room. This one, I feel I am underdressed for the occasion, so we'll be right back after I summon my inner Tommy. Oh, hi! I did not see you there. What a story I have for you. So this movie is about a man named Johnny who has a girlfriend, a fiance named Lisa, and he loves her so much, but Lisa is in love with his friend Mark, and they have an affair, and who am I kidding? I can't do a great Tommy Wiseau, but I'm going to talk about this movie. So like I mentioned, young man named Johnny, doing fairly well at his job at the bank, has a girlfriend slash fiance named Lisa, who eventually is bored with him, doesn't love him anymore, and falling in love and having an affair with his best friend Mark. While this is going on, Lisa's mother comes in and starts telling her that she needs to knock off this attitude and behavior and stay with Johnny. Johnny and Lisa have a young friend named Danny who's a very big boundary pusher and also possibly on some illicit substances that he owes money for and is being threatened by a thug. Also, Mark is not wanting to continue this relationship with Lisa behind Johnny's back. Eventually, Johnny catches on, a big fight ensues, and Johnny eventually takes a long-distance hole puncher and unalives himself. That's the movie. I could have gone into full detail on this one, however, there could be a reason for that. Another reason is a lot of the people that watch this channel have been aware of the fact that we've made a lot of references to The Room in the past few years, and it just feels like overkill. So we're going to talk about what I like and what I don't like about this film, and whether or not it fits the mold for being the worst movie made in California. We're going to start off with the things that I don't like. What don't I like about this film? The confusion in the plot, because let's face it, folks, if you have seen this movie, the plot is somewhat cut and dry on what's going on between each of the characters, but what is the purpose of it? What was the purpose of the affair? What was the purpose of Johnny losing his mind so quickly? What was the purpose of Danny having his issues with whatever addictions or boundary pushing? Obviously, at one point, Danny admits that he is in love with Lisa as well, but then she's also dating / engaged to one of his best friends, so he leaves it alone. Now, other than that, the acting is subpar. Tommy Wiseau, he's an enigma. Nobody really knows a lot about him, where he actually comes from, how old he is, where he accumulated the money that he put up to not only direct, but star and produce and write the film. This man did it all, for better or worse. The other people in the cast, Greg Sestero, he's gone on to do some projects, which is great. Juliette Danielle, I believe that's her name. I'll be honest, I'm kind of looking at the cheat sheet right now because, it's been a long day. Her acting and her dialogue in this movie is fairly two phrases. I don't love him anymore, I don't want to talk about it. And then her mother constantly talking about having breast cancer and people dying, and it just... the purpose of that, I don't know what the purpose was. I don't even know why the purpose happened. So, purpose. What is my purpose? What is best in life? I don't know. Ask Arnold. I digress. The revolving door situation of people coming in and coming out of different entryways and scenes feels just very robotic and also just not well thought out. Just like what I'm about to bring up now. What was the purpose of seeing Tommy Wiseau's butt? I don't know why. I saw it and I was blinded by the butt. It was weird. Especially those suggestive scenes that we can't really talk about on YouTube. Some people don't know whether to go higher or lower, if you know what I mean. Speaking of not knowing when something is too much, we'll talk about the green screen. Yeah, I know, I've got one behind me, so you do the math. There is an excessive amount of the green screen on the upper level of the building and all around the area that they're in, and it's just, for someone who supposedly had all this money and making a movie, you would think that they would be able to rely on better locations other than a green screen. But then again, here I am on low budget, and now I sound like a hypocrite, don't I? Well, it is not true. It's bullshit. I do have money. I have money. Oh, hi, Mark. Okay, I've been slamming this movie a little bit too much, and we're going to talk about what I like about this film. What I do like, even though it's one of those movies that the acting is very, very WTF, and the plot and the writing are even more WTF, there are some interesting things about it. It has withstood the test of time as being one of those cult movies a la Rocky Horror, where there are throwaway lines where certain things happen or you see certain things over and over, like a spoon! Yeah, that's fun. They didn't take the spoons out of the generic pictures in the photo frames. Yeah, that was fun. I liked that. Also the fact that not only after this movie came out, that it did receive a cult following. Greg Sestero, the actor that plays Mark, also wrote a book called The Disaster Artist, recounting a lot of the things that happened during the making of the movie The Room, which was such an inspiration to James Franco and other people that they decided a few years ago to make a biopic based off the book, based off the making of the film, with the same name, The Disaster Artist. And that movie is pretty hilarious, especially how Tommy Wiseau has a cameo at the end. Spoiler alert, folks, if you haven't seen it yet. Alright, now that we've gotten this out of the way, we're going to talk about whether or not this movie is the worst movie made in California. One of the big things that I talked about on my grading is the rewatchability. Is it a movie that you're able to watch over and over? For me personally, I can watch it over and over, and a lot of it is due to the fact of that audience participation, similar to Rocky Horror, which I've been a fan of that movie for a very long time. Though I don't watch The Room as much because, I'll be honest, it is an endurance trial. A lot of times you will be sitting there asking yourself, why am I watching this and what am I doing with my life? However, there are times where you can grab your friends, grab your family, grab a couple alcoholic beverages, or if you're not into that thing, grab something that you can have anytime something happens that's funny or a joke. Make a game out of it. I mean, I'm not going to say you can use one thing or the other, but that's a good way to bring people together too, because there's definitely a community for this movie. And that being said, I feel that The Room is not the worst movie made in California. So The Room, you survive. Barely. Well, we hope you enjoyed this review on The Room today. If you've seen this movie and you agree with my opinions, leave a thumbs up. And if you don't, you can leave a thumbs down too. I totally get it. This movie definitely is not for everyone. Also, make sure you share on social media, push that little red button, and ring the bell for instant notifications. Until then, I'm Wildman West. No, I'm not going to do that anymore. No, I'm not going to do this. No, I'm Wildman West, and we will see you next time for Worst State of Movies. Take care, and keep watching whatever movies you can, as long as you can. Because some of these movies coming down the list, oh man, oh. The next one, oh boy, I might get in some trouble for this next one.